and also is pretty multi-dimensional with what we're able to do, because we were also able to pull them back, pick them out, and you saw Chisholm score from range against them as well. The one thing to key on for the Corinthians right now is Ben Conway, the number 10 who played forward against Wichita in Wichita, has dropped into the mid to clear way for former NASL San Antonio Scorpions, was with them for 3 years, played overseas in Nova Scotia, but let me pronounce this right, Esteban Bayona, number 11. He did not make the trip to Wichita. He's been killing it this year for them. He's their leading goal scorer. It's going to take a little bit to handle. So Tenike, Pollock, Jeffy, Sosa, all these guys know who he is. Look for them to make sure they get a body on him and not let him run directly through the mid. You're familiar with that at the holding position, right?
Yes, sir.
So we start off, look for both teams to be filling each other out. Wichita's seeing a little bit of the ball to start, so not a bad thing to keep it a little bit. And right when I say that, we get a bad ball across from Yasu Bekele. Mosley has trouble bringing it down, and here comes Ben Conway, who it's a weird shift for Ben because he's a speedy, tribey, really heavy working forward, and now he comes into the mid, and that could change the game a little bit with Claire and Shadow. Those guys are going to have to start to understand that he's going to be closing the ground quicker than what they were accustomed to, and now they've not only added pace in the midfield, but they've added the third midfielder.
Absolutely.
Beautiful stadium here, by the way, as MJ Productions panned away for the national anthem. Panned away during the national anthem and showed the scoreboard, and you could see the scenic overview from behind. The entire pitch is covered. It's obviously a track and football stadium, multi-purpose, soccer, track, football. But holy cow! If you pack this place, it's definitely something special. When you walk in, you kind of get goosebumps. Conway, there he is winning the ball at the top of the box right there off Mosley. That's another one of those dangerous things. And, as Wichita looks to counter him, once Ben steps forward, and he will get into the attack because by nature that's what he is. And once he does that, it'd be interesting to see if Wichita's aware of that and immediately looks to counter him. And he's vacated the midfield. They've lost that pace in there, and see if we can get right after him. So Claire plays the target ball to Anelli. Back to Shadow, and Anelli gets it back again. Great to have Luca Anelli back with his body. He's physical in there. Uh-oh, this could be trouble here. Bayona, find a little bit of space over behind Kevin Tenike, puts it down. Kevin gets goal side again. Jeffy comes in. Pollock's in a good defensive position. As long as we can keep him in a situation where I would say Matt, and I wasn't in the locker room and you were, but Larry's probably saying, hey, keep this guy 20-plus yards away from goal. Put a body on him. Make sure you got good supporting angles, and make sure he's attacking by himself, right?
Absolutely. We got our eye on him for sure.
So Corinthians looks to keep a little bit of possession here, playing from right to left, now looking to extend us. So well done by Alex Pollock. Steps in, make sure he plays the ball and the man. Alex has been great at that all year. He's not going to let both things pass. It's a basic principle of defending. First, you pressure the ball. Second, you support. Somebody's got to support. And then once you get both those things down, you force the ball carrier into your help, right? So, and then obviously the guy who is pressuring the ball doesn't want to let the ball and the man both go by. If they try to take him on, or if they play it behind and then make a little wall pass, a little give-and-go run, lay it down, you got to get into the guy. And Alex Pollock's been fantastic at making sure nobody gets by him all year. Just the body, right?
Yes.
Anything, we've seen it from Mauricio Vargas. He's absolutely willing to step in and cover anything that's in behind, and he can cover ground quickly. He's technical enough. Claire sprays the ball across to the right side. Chisholm Agbana running on. Off of Chisholm. Looks like it's going to go out for a throw. Let's see if the guys can keep him pinned in here. Shadow up to pressure. Conway with the ball. Bounces a few times, and it's just a simple little ball in behind Mosley, but bad first touch, and Claire steps in and collects it. Back to Sosa. Shadow. Wichita looks to get a little bit of possession going here. Mosley forward to Sosa, and Sosa turns and takes an errant shot there. We probably don't need that at this stage in the game. I don't know if it's a him and a turf thing. Leo, when you watch the replay of this, I saw that a little bit in the Dallas City game. That's scary for us. We love to get you forward, but let's keep it and try to get some build up and try to get a little bit better look right there. Did you see what happened there, Matt? I saw it looks like San Antonio's been whistled for a foul in the middle of the pitch. I didn't get a number.
No, I'm not sure who did it.
Jefty drives the ball across to Chisholm, and not as short as Chisholm is, not many balls go over his head. So Chisholm jumps up and barely gets a little deflection. Misplayed by the San Antonio backline going forward, and Wichita collects it again. Now you've got Claire stepping in to win it and laying a ball down to Ayasu's. It's finding a little bit of space out there. It seems like we're just the ball is almost at the right back, but there is space in behind him, and Wichita's got Yasu Bekele on the left wing, which is, we have to favor that matchup if we can get a ball in behind over there.
Absolutely.
So you can see Conway right here in the middle of the pitch, sitting in between Sosa and Alex Pollock. And he definitely, when they have the ball, he's playing a lot higher than what they've got him on the roster sheet. Almost attacking in the 4-3-3 with Conway as a striker instead of the attacking mid. Here's Conway again. Mosley takes it off him and lays it back to Vargas. Vargas on a clearance, and Anelli's going to chase and see if he can put a little bit of pressure and turn the ball over in the back. Both teams just really filling each other out. They can string together. We've seen 5-6 passes, and then somebody gets a little impatient. They're looking to just get it around midfield or the other team's half and knock it a few times. But in the back, just a lot of clearance. There's really no composure. Here we give the ball away in the midfield again. Yasu dribbles, gets the ball taken off of him, and now we start a counter. Wow. Great save from Vargas. Almost misjudged it. The ball was up in the air. Folks, that's not the side the sun's looking into, so there's not that much of wind, just a little bit of breeze, nothing that's going to push that ball. So a little bit overplayed initially by Mauricio Vargas, but does very well to collect himself and come back and make sure he keeps the ball when he goes to the ground. That's what I'd like to see a little bit more of. It looks like Matt Clare and Shadow have found space in the midfield. When they get it, they're both composed. Maybe they're playing a little bit close to each other wide. If we could get them a little bit more central, we could look to put guys in. Because at this point, when we've put Chisholm in, it's been a little too long. Yasu hadn't quite settled into the game yet. He's a little bit anxious with the ball. The ball's a little long, or he's at times playing it too early. So you'd like to see those guys. They really can make people more comfortable, and that's similar to what Mosley can do as well. And here's Shadow, just as we said. Gets central, gets a ball laid down, switch. Yasu Bekele's in the 18. Claire showing. Yasu takes a shot, and it's over the top. Yeah, Matt's showing for the ball there. His hips are facing Yasu. He's probably not in too great of a place to take a ball across his body and shoot. Yasu had as good of a look at that point as anybody. I think I'd say Larry would probably tell him, hey, if you get the ball inside the 18 and there's no pressure on you, right, let's go ahead and have a crack. So unfortunate that it wasn't on goal. You always want to test the goalkeeper, but you have to get a shot off in that situation.
Exactly.
So we just heard that over the PA system. It looks like the U.S. women's national team has went up 1-0 on China. That's got to be a fun time back in Wichita, Kansas at the Fox and Hound with the crew, right? Everybody's out there hanging out. Got FC Wichita streaming on one TV. Got the women's national team. We're giving away 10 tickets out there in the supporters section for our next home game, July 12th. We're looking to pack the stadium. If we can come away with some results here, handball on Shadow and handball on Shadow Sabella, and Wichita keeps the ball, and the center turns around and says no and shoves the AR's flag down, almost violently tells him no, when absolutely it is. And here's Wichita with an opportunity to get the ball across the face of the goal after an obvious handball that he trapped the ball with his hand.
Yeah, we got away with one.
Right, and as much as I don't care if we score after we get a call, I'd just assume score anytime. But you also, from both teams' perspective, you don't want to see something like that affect the game. You definitely don't want it against you. Anyway, out of sight, out of mind, and we play on. Foul there on Chisholm. Ogbonna got tangled up coming back. It looks like he's going to get the foul called on him. You see Corinthians looking like they want to play Bayona, and Alex Pollock immediately, when the ball's in the air and he realizes he has ground to close, an arm in a guy's back, immediately closes the ground. Bayona takes a bad touch backwards, and outside of Chisholm just being a step slow, he really should, exactly what you want from Alex Pollock from defensively, right?
Yeah.
So free kick at midfield. Corinthians just tries to lay a ball up into the inside the 18 there. The target again, Bayona, and I think that's going to become a pretty common thing that we're going to hear. That's who they're going to try to target. Right there again, he turns, tries to shoot. Pollock with the deflection. Pollock's positioned well. Ten Eyck's close. They're very aware of their assignments. Those are the two guys. If you wanted to figure out, and Conway grabs his face right there. I didn't see anything, Matt. He immediately ducked and he's still holding it, but I don't think you stop playing for that.
No, he's just trying to sell it.
So find the target for Wichita. Luca Anelli comes all the way out at midfield, lays the ball down to Shadow, and Claire's in. Can Shadow find him? Matt Claire's in on goal. He takes a touch. Goal! FC Wichita! Matt Claire gets a goal in only the 12th minute of play. Diagonal ball in from Shadow Sabella, and FC Wichita has struck first in this game and immediately opened up the back line. Claire's done this all season. Shadow's found him. Claire pulls the center back away, makes the run in, and if you're watching anybody in the MPSL, if you want to scout this team, good luck. Matt Claire is an absolute animal right now. 11 goals and 8 assists in 9 games in 11 minutes and 30 seconds, folks. Wichita up 1-0. Matt Claire, 11 minutes, 10 seconds in from Shadow Sabella. Again, talking about targets, Matt. Great goal. What a goal from Matt. But Luca Anelli pulls their outside back wide. Matt becomes the forward from the attacking mid. Anelli comes all the way wide just to the out of bounds line right at midfield. Takes a touch, gets his head up. He's such an imposing presence. Target, right? The target guy is backs to goal, lays a ball down to Shadow, and Shadow makes him pay with a brilliant ball in behind. Luca Anelli, really, Corinthians, a well-fought moment right there with Luca Anelli again gets in on goal. Luca Anelli feeling it a little bit right now, and he gets in behind the right back of Corinthians, which we knew potentially was a moment, at any moment we could get that done, and that was part of the game plan. But Matt, what a run, what a ball from Shadow. Matt pulls the center back away. He's got two of them bunched, and he makes a run directly in front of the guy. There's nobody else that has a chance to get to that ball besides Matt Claire. Did I miss anything?
No, I think he covered it all. Great to have Luca back in the lineup. That's what he does best.
Well, how exciting is that, folks? Matt Claire nominated for his second National Player of the Week. Second, he was the Week 12 and now nominated again in the top 5 in Week 13. He had a goal and an assist against Tulsa. Comes back with 2 goals. Against Corinthians, a goal and 2 assists. Then finishes last weekend with 2 goals to beat Houston 2-1. Nice strike, struck well. Vargas had the line, had it covered all the way, and collects it, and that's what Mauricio Vargas does. He makes goalkeeping look easy at times. But Claire, so he comes off the National Player of the Week. He ends up with that, and now 11 minutes into this match, guess who? Matt Claire's done it again. I say let's just keep watching and see, can we call him the National Player of the Year candidate? I don't see why not. Somebody give me footage. I challenge you that. Somebody give us footage as somebody that's done more. Matt Claire lays the ball down to Shadow. Shadow looking to attack. Shadow's going to take him on and have a go. Shadow Sabella! Oh, what a save! Shadow Sabella pulls up from, 26 yards maybe? 26 yards out on his strong foot, his left foot, has a crack, and fingertip save. fingertip save, number 99, Robert Allen, goalkeeper for Corinthians. He stopped this thing from getting totally out of control in the 15-minute. 14 minutes in, Shadow takes that crack, and oh my, folks, it looked like it was 2-0 FC Wichita, and there's a party going on at Fox and Hound. I want to take a minute to thank some of our sponsors as well. A friend of ours, he has a field-side table there, Jim Close. Jim Close Soccer Camps. Jim's been a big supporter of FC Wichita, and I want to thank him. Also, our jersey sponsors, CallCap and Cox Business Services. Of course, Service Body Shop, Speedy Cash. On July 12th, Speedy Cash is bringing out $5,000 in a cash machine. So you're actually able to – oh, Matt Clare's on sides, and he's in again. If he doesn't fall down – and you hope he doesn't get injured there because it's funny moments like that a guy comes up lame, but Matt looks to be okay. But Matt was in behind again, and if it's not a turf touch, right, instead bringing it down on normal grass, Matt may be looking to get a similar shot off that he had from that first goal against Corinthians last Friday night. But anyway, back to the Speedy Cash. Speedy Cash is putting $5,000 in a cash grab machine. So you come, register, a couple people are going to jump in that thing and have an opportunity to grab as much cash up to $5,000 as they'd like. And that's pretty cool. We appreciate their support. There's a long line of people, including my kids. I'm sure there's some kind of 18-year-old qualification, but I have a 12-year-old at home named Isaac that's that thinks he's getting ready to make $5,000. He's already got it on the income line. Mosley lays it down to Ogbonna. Anelli again looking to just come show and see if he can get a touch. Anelli does enough to distract Mosley with the blindside back shoulder run around 8, and Chisholm tries to play him the ball, cleared off the line, and Wichita again with the corner kick. What's that make for Wichita now? 3 corner kicks? They're not keeping that stat on the scoreboard, folks, so we're going to call it 3 right now. That's what I have on my sheet, but on the right side, Matt Clare's been taking him. On the left side, Shadow Sabella. You fans of Wichita know that Kevin Tenike is hanging out on the back post inside the 6-yard box. And Kevin's just been an absolute monster in the air this year. And cleared away from Corinthians. Good pressure from Jefty. Jefty Blanc steps up and collects for Wichita, and it looks like we're ready to be calm and do it again. Little flick from Sosa. Mosley was caught a little bit high, and here, what an awful touch from Bayona. And Bayona does collect it and do what we expect from him, but that could have been so much faster and further ahead, and they don't end up having to play him that ball to the 6 if the touch is across his body instead of backwards. So, Bayona didn't play last week. He didn't make the trip. I know he does live here in San Antonio. Again, NASL product. He's played professionally in Scandinavia and some different places around the world, but was a part of the Scorpion system, which is highly touted here, and a great club, great background, great history, and it was in, I believe, 2.5 years for the better part of 3 years, and that's what he's brought so far to this team. So at this point, Jefty Blanc's isolate him on the backside. They're looking for him again. It's pretty simple right now, right? He's hanging out on the backside, and they're just looking to play him. Look for this ball down the line to Bayona right here. And they give it away in the midfield, and here comes FC Wichita again on the counterattack that's been pretty rough looking to defend right now for Corinthians. They find Shadow, and Shadow will look to collect. Shadow with a little 360 outside turn. We teach that to the young guys in Wichita right now. If you're watching and you want to know how to play the game, watch Shadow Sabella.
Absolutely.
He's a pure pro. I mean, the way that he goes about his business, I bet at 8 years old he trained like a pro. Right, that's everything he does. You see that, and here's a guy that right now is just waiting for somebody to make the phone call. He's an international, so I love having him in Wichita, but if he doesn't have to have an international roster spot in USL, NASL, MLS, he's gone because he's every bit as good as a little bit of drama down here. Oh, hey, that's got to be a straight red card for number 22. He did a little kung fu wax on, wax off Mr. Miyagi move, and then took what appeared to be a little right hand shiver at a guy. I think you probably Chisholm Ogbonna looks to take a shot there. The referee, unfortunately, is going to come back and just try to calm everybody down. But you got to get with the AR right now and say, look, did somebody throw a punch? Because I believe there was a punch thrown there. Did you see it?
There absolutely was a punch thrown. That should be a straight red card.
That's Jonathan Camarena. Jonathan Camarena, number 22. A little bit of hand fighting. It's okay to get tangled up. These guys are playing for playing for the South Central Conference, not necessarily just bragging rights, but if FC Wichita comes away with 3 points out of this game, we have a game in hand, which means we've played one less game than them. We've already beat them 4-0, so we've got significant goal differential because right now we're up 5-0 on goal differential against them. If we hold on to 3 points here, it starts to look very, very good for FC Wichita to go ahead and take over in this conference. Of course, there's plenty of games to be played. They're on a 4-game road stint, and there's we're in the 20th minute. But that's the passion that they're playing with right now. So, okay, a little bit of hands, a slap a guy's arm, this, that, push, but, we already had the moment. Houston right now is playing a man light this weekend because they're number 10. Matt Clare got punched in the face and scratched, and he's down last Sunday cleaning his wound on the ground going, geez, that hurts. That was next to my eye. And here comes Houston, number 10. He's just going to kick Matt right in the side of the head, right? So the league got a hold of that video and imposed a suspension against the Houston player who's going to be out for some time now. And I have to give Miguel there, the ownership, and the way Houston handled it, a lot of love as well because Houston, their front office and their ownership, already was taking action. Once they saw it, they said, hey, I saw this. Here's what's going on. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Of course, in games like that, they go both ways. For those of you that went back and saw that, it looked like Kevin Tenike got punched on the video in the face. You watch it in slow motion, it doesn't look quite as bad. But there was a moment at the end of that game when Wichita went up 2-1 in stoppage time that Houston sent a ball across the box, and Tenike went to clear it with his shoulder, and it looked like it got a whole lot of arm as well. So those kind of calls can go either way, and, you don't want to see them impact a match, but they do, right? Embellishment is part of the game. We see it right here. A yellow card gets issued, and it was Luca Anelli? So Luca Anelli gets a yellow card, and Victor Penal, he's just going to go ahead and – I'm sorry, it was Louis Farrell. But Louis Farrell, he's going to step up and shake it off, and good as gold now, right? So, anyway, embellishment, it was a perfect time for that, folks. But embellishment's a part of the game. You do not want to see players attacking each other after the play. The integrity of the game and safety is far, far, far too important to allow a player to come up and kick somebody in the head or take an overhand right at him like we just saw after the play. So Tenike, again, San Antonio off the restart targets Bayona, and Bayona's number 11. He's got the beard, if you're wondering, back in Wichita or wherever you're watching from. He's right now guarded by Alex Pollock at the top of the 6. They again target him here. That's a dangerous ball, well cleared off the line by Alex Pollock. Alex Pollock leaves Bayona, steps up, and takes the deflection. If you're Mauricio Vargas, before that, the ball that comes across, it's Tenike up over 2 guys to clear the ball out for a throw. You got to love those 2 guys. They've really been a rock for this team all year, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
So Vargas pushes his line up pretty high. It looks like he wants everybody to be up beyond. Unfortunately, we can call football lines up beyond the 35, right? But I know many of you don't like to see that. But if you don't like football lines, I agree with you. I'd rather play on grass and soccer lines. However, if you come to this stadium, I think you could make a little bit of a concession for one match because it's absolutely beautiful out here. Another restart. Everybody pushing forward. You have Vincent Bailey on the ball for San Antonio. Again, Bayona hanging out around the far post, even with the 6, and same thing, different minute, right? Looking to just play the ball in behind the defense. Sosa with an errant clearance. Mosley with an errant clearance. Ball laid back, and what do you say? They whip it in again, and they do. And there's Kevin Tenike to clear it back out top. Pressure from Anelli and shadow as Mauricio Vargas screaming pushes his whole line back up beyond the 18. Diagonal ball in, shot on goal. That's Louis Farrell steps up from the back, and they vacated the back and pushed everybody forward at this point, right? All their set pieces, they're getting a set piece at midfield, and it's just dump it into the box. There's no, that's the idea. Hey, let's try to get that a trash goal's a goal, whatever, right? There's no direction on that. There's no run. It's pack everybody in the box and try to get a ball flicked on. Farrell actually inside the 6 after 2 bad clearances from Wichita. They get another chance, and he puts it on frame and racked that up for another save for Mauricio Vargas. Takes him to 3 now, but again, Vargas makes something that isn't just routine because it's inside the 6 look decent because his positioning. San Antonio offsides there, trying to test Alex Mosley and hanging out a little bit deep, about 30, 35 yards off a goal. Vargas just going to step up and go ahead and take this. And at this point in the game, obviously, once you've scored and you got the momentum, the other team's pushing forward, so you have an opportunity to counter them. We saw that with Shadow. But, for me, Matt, I'd really like to see us get composed, calm down, knock the ball, make them chase the game, and just not start to fall into this, let them get into counterattacking soccer. Take a touch, keep it, see if we can wear them down a little bit. If we can break them down and score again, we can really take the life out of them right now. Ball cleared over the FC Wichita bench there, and Larry Enlow is not going to stop that to help this game speed up at all, is he? So he just puts his hand up and fans by. He looked like he was on a stroll in the park and just ran into his neighbor across the pond, right? waved at that one. Oh, sorry, ref.
Yeah, we are in no hurry at all right now.
So Anelli called offsides there as well. Although we haven't had a lot of possession, our guys seem to be getting in dangerous positions. Shadow's pushed up. Matt's dropped back. Shadow's finding that space in behind. We've seen Matt just pick teams apart with his service. So here he is right here dropping off to collect, and that's what he does. He'll kind of rock you to sleep. He'll come back. He'll collect. He'll be the assist guy. He'll drop balls in. But he'll do all that hard work. Shadow's been a little hampered. Yasu was out. We've been hurt in the midfield, right? And Matt comes in and he covers Xavi-type ground, I told him last week against Houston. But he'll do that. He and Shadow will interchange and switch often. But then when you get the opportunity for him to get forward, that when they switch, that's when you see Shadow pulls out wide on the goal, picks up the ball, gets his head up, and now Matt's looking to transition from more of a holding position and trying to link the team to, hey, I'm your forward now. So, again, Wichita in no hurry. Chisholm Agbana lets the ball roll. The ball kid rolls the ball out to play a little bit faster, but Mosley is peeled off of this, and it looks like we're going to get what Josh Kippenberg and I have, and Josh Kippenberg typically calls the game Football Wichita Live. Josh and I have now touted this as the corner kick throw-in because Ten Eyck, there's a very good chance he puts this ball between the penalty spot and the top of the six, and it's more dangerous than the San Antonio set piece from midfield. And there it is, flicked across the goal. Oh, it's going to be a corner kick for Wichita. Right as we say that, better than the penalty spot. 3 foot off the back post. He throws it, a deflection off a Corinthians player who mistimes it and almost puts it in the back of their own net. But if Chisholm Agbana is expecting that ball, he may have a chance to get a trash goal on the backside.
Just slightly mistimed by Chisholm, but almost a goal.
So, again, Wichita with the corner kick. This is the 4th corner of the game. Matt Clare's taking him off the right foot and Shadow taking him off the left. Kevin Ten Eyck pushed up again in the box, hanging out on the back post, 16. Mosley's got a lot of movement in there. Sosa now steps forward. Chisholm Agbana with the header, and nice save, good positioning from Corinthians. They had it fairly well covered, but Agbana, one of the smallest guys on the pitch with like a 50-inch vertical, and I know I'm over-exaggerating, but if you look at any of the pictures, I mean, the kid can dunk, and he's probably 5'5". He's unbelievably athletic. His name should be chiseled as Agbana instead of Chisholm. Is just probably the best athlete on this team overall, right?
Incredible athlete.
So Chisholm gets the header on the backside and easily collected by Robert Allen, but positioning put him in a position to be able to make that save routine for himself. Out of bounds again. Matt Clare comes over to collect and lays a ball backwards to Jeffy Blanc, and Clare stays there to show and is asking for the ball on his foot. Jeffy over the top to Luca Anelli, which is something that you hear quite a bit around here, and not just with FC Wichita, but Cliff Brown with Newman University recruited both of these players. Both internationals. And there's Jeffy, takes a touch around the edge. Jeffy's going to get in. He's so dangerous from there. You'd like to see him take another touch or maybe not try to whip it as close to goal, maybe a little bit more across goal than at goal. But Luca Anelli and Jeffy, both Newman University products from Cliff Brown. And guys that, if you like what you see right now, we got a few guys that are going to be able to play at Friends this fall. And then we also have Jeffy and Luca who will be over at Newman. So that's something that you can go check out and follow these guys and continue to stay in tune with what they got going on and through FC Wichita. It almost seems like everything that's been played into Bayona right now, every time he's received a ball, it's been in the air, and he's done fairly well with them for the most part. The one that we saw go to his feet, he's, holy cow, it's to my feet, and he takes that bad touch 10 yards back, and it knocks their counterattack off rhythm. But otherwise, there's really not a lot of movement from him. That's Ben Conway has now went from the center position to move out right, and they have switched to, and that I would have said a 4-3-3 type attack, almost a 4-4 or a 4-2-4, because you saw the left back there, Jonathan Camareno, push forward, and he looked to become an extra forward on the left side. But they're kind of moving Conway around. Now they're testing Jeffy. Hey, let's go straight forward. Try to win the ball off the midfield. Matt Shadow wasn't having it. Leo wasn't having it. Here comes Alex Pollock with deflections. Ten Ike strong in the air. There's Alex Pollock again stepping up on Bayona. So they've moved Conway. Here you see him, moved him all the way out to the side. As Jeffy appears to be up to the challenge out there. Well fought there. Good effort from Chisholm Ogbonna not to let Corinthians out of the back, and they're going to have to take a goal kick. Goal kick won by Matt Clare straight out of the air. Second ball, Shadow Sabella. Shadow's fighting, creates a 50-50 ball, and just kind of dumps it back and starts him over. Now, Wichita content to defend in the 4-1-4-1. The only concern there by not dropping another player defensively, either Matt or Shadow or somebody dropping to hold, is that San Antonio really hasn't had any idea of build-up at this point. There hasn't been any really calm down, knock it, let's bring our wing back into the game, let's link up and switch the field. Everything's been simply over the top. It honestly maybe beneficial for FC Wichita right now that you would have targeted Bayona on the roster sheet before the game. He's part of our game plan to defend a pregame, and the majority of what they've done is dump balls into Bayona. Now he's having to come all the way back to midfield to collect and lay a ball down, and this is the effort that we're getting off the ball from him. He's just having to cover a lot more ground to receive, which is what you want. Conway with the energy, same thing. Here he comes all the way back. So now as we're saying it, San Antonio has calmed down. They're looking to knock the ball a little bit and be a little bit more creative. But, that's here we go again with a little bit more direct play. That one unfortunately gets in behind Alex Mosley. A switch. San Antonio arguing for potentially a handball there, but Pollux takes the deflection. Alex had his arms in, right? Yeah. Both arms were in. He turned. He tried to avoid the contact on his arm. If it hit his arm, it was the back when it was hitting the side of his back and his arm, but definitely had his arms tucked in and tried to avoid it. So you don't want a team that hasn't been real dangerous. You don't want to give him that opportunity. All right, Corinthians corner kick. And that's going to be out. Again, Alex Pollock challenging in the box and wins the goal kick there. Goal kick taken quick. Mauricio Vargas saw Yasu Bekele with a little bit of space over there on the side. Clare and Conway get tangled up, and the foul goes against Matt Clare. Both of them shake hands, and that's a little bit more like what we want to see, right? Both those guys go, hey, man, you're good, and not just you're good, you're healthy, but they realize what type of player each other is, shake hands, and let's keep playing. That's definitely the attitude that we're looking for as opposed to what we've seen a little bit of in the last few games. But Mauricio Vargas, with the quick restart, this is the result of that. Right now, he's obviously offsides. He takes an overhead kick, a bicycle kick, which maybe is a dangerous play anyway, but he's 5 yards offsides. That's Bayona. 5 yards offsides after the first and second ball didn't get through, and Wichita was proved to be strong enough defensively and plug the holes. Ball goes backwards, and then they dump it into him again. You can't come back and play the ball, be the first to play the ball if you're in an offsides position, which that was an easy call. Now Vargas is slowing down and letting the guys get in position and get in their shape. And that ball, it needs to be somewhere where our guys are. It can't just be a ball. It can't just be a long ball, because here's the same thing that, Pollock just falls down. Oh, and he has to pay for it. Alex Pollock, there's Biona in the 34th minute with the goal, hanging out, just simple kick and chase. Again, to the goal kick and the restarts that we had from Vargas, he's not putting the ball anywhere near our guys. They're coming forward and winning it and going straight back at us. Alex Pollock just falls down. There wasn't anything technical. Biona didn't even have the ball. It directly at Alex. Alex falls down. He's not in a position to play it. Mistake from Alex. That's uncharacteristic of what we've seen from him. But to be fair, he loses his footing, falls down, and that's what a guy with this kind of professional and NASL experience is going to do. He's going to make you pay on that moment. So now the score line even. San Antonio, we're ready to play, and the referee signaled for us to play. San Antonio has 4 players taking a drink. So they scored and game over and took a water break after they scored. Matt Clare, again, a little bit too direct, and we just, over the last 6 or 7 minutes, that was coming because we never calmed down. We never kept it. And now, they're playing really, really, really direct, and it's skipping our midfield. Looking right now, you have Chisholm, Matt, Shadow, Yasu, all these guys all the way up, and there's equal or more white and black jerseys against our defenders. As a defender, you don't want that, right? Somebody come back and pressure the ball. Let me screen the angles. Let me pressure their forward, but somebody come back and take it off their mid or their center back. Don't just let him carry it.
We need our leaders. We need Shadow. We need Matt and Kevin to settle us back down and get back into the game.
Well, they gave that goal to Victor Pinal on the PA system, but it was obviously number 11, Esteban Biona. And Biona had been just hanging out, and you know what? They both have, one's 11, one's 21, so maybe I'm making a mistake. We're pretty high up here, but I do not believe that was the correct distribution of the goal. Now Biona with a little bit of pep in his step. He's kung fu challenge against Pollock, right? And so starting to play a little bit faster, but a lot like what you see from Matt at times, where his veteran leadership, he just kind of mauls guys to sleep. Hey, this guy, he's not really going to work hard, and then bang, and he makes you pay. There's Esteban Biona hanging out on the backside. He finds Ben Conway. Ben Conway tries to whip a ball across the box, and well defended from Yasu Bekele. Matt Clare's going to try to stretch him, and he's looking to find Luca Nelly. Luca's just out of game form. He hadn't played in quite a while, and what they need from Luca right now, a lot like when we scored the goals, they need him to come back and not hide. Right there, he was hiding a little bit. Matt couldn't find his feet. We need to be able to find the target, stretch the field, and make Corinthians cover a little bit of ground. Right now, FC Wichita is having to cover the ground. They're pulling our midfield. Oh, there's Matt's run again. See if Chisholm tries to find him. Not a quality ball from Chisholm, but Matt steps in and tries to win the ball, asking for a foul off Conway. Conway's dropped back into the center mid again, and it looks like they've now dropped back into the 5-3-2. So again, look for the direct ball across to Biona. And there it is. And he's offsides clearly. He scores, but the referee has him offsides. Even though he's going to be flagged there for offsides, Matt, it's dangerous. You know it's coming, and he's still available. He's staying with the outside back, and he's on the guy's back shoulder, and he's cheating, obviously, quite a bit. We've seen him offsides a few times, but but he's looking for that little push off. He's taking that pro shove off the back of a guy. It's just dangerous because they're targeting him. We know what he's doing, and we've still got him isolated in 1v1 situations. That surely somebody can come over and be goal side of this guy behind him, and another player can screen his feet. There's 3 players in the box for FC Wichita, and then only him. And you just can't leave a guy of that caliber. He's shown what happens when you make a mistake. Claire comes back to try to win the ball, takes a touch and gets fouled. About 40 yards off a goal here. Ten Eyck and Claire have a few words. Probably, hey, calm us down, let's go, let's collect us in the back, make sure you're sorting it out. At Wichita right now, obviously it'd be great to go up before the half, but we've lost a little bit of the momentum. We've lost some of our composure. You just definitely don't want to see him concede before half here. Yasu Bekele. Quality 50-50 challenge. Yasu gets muscled off the ball. San Antonio over to collect and ends up putting it out for a throw. Tried to save it and just dump it a little bit deeper to try to pin Wichita deep, and that didn't work. So a bouncing throw in from Mosley to Pollock, and Pollock plays it forward to Luca Anelli, who does what Luca Anelli does. Gets a guy on his back, tries to shield, tries to bring a ball down, but they've got him a little bit stretched. Nice tackle from Alex Mosley. Looks across to Yasu. Errant ball. They let the ball carry all the way across the box. Or I'm sorry, across the middle of the pitch. Yasu continues to stay with the play, but now he comes over and fouls Ben Conway. So, cue Vincent Bailey targeting Esteban Bayona, right? Ball in there. Alex Pollock plays it forward, wins it. Shadow Sabella, you got to play him now. Yasu Bekele. Shadow looks to be, he's trying to stay onside. Yasu gets the 1v1. Now he plays Shadow, and you know what? It was difficult. They had the situation they wanted. They had the 3v2. Somebody had to stop the ball, and Nelly needed to take one more touch, but at that point, but you would have liked to see him play Shadow a little bit earlier. You got to honor both of their foot speed, but Shadow had made the better run than Yasu. Shadow had pulled away a little bit wider and allowed a position for Nelly to lay a ball out in front of him and lead him to goal. Also, Yasu's touch pulled Shadow off sides. So they just, maybe Yasu could get a little bit wider to make his teammate a little bit more comfortable distributing to him. Ball dumped in, save from a throw-in for Wichita. Dumps it in and plays Vargas. These are the moments here that have cost us. The couple opportunities they had and the one that they capitalized on. These balls here, the second ball cost Wichita. We didn't collect, we didn't recover, and then, 2-3 flick-ons later, they're in behind and a guy falls down. I mean, that happens when you're not calming yourself. Yasu Bekele now from Matt Clare, a little give and go. Yasu's in 1v1. Yasu cuts back, well defended. Yasu, you want to see Yasu get a shot, but we've also seen him beat that keeper 3 times in one possession last week. So Yasu tries to stop and cut back and stand on the ball and get back to his right foot and just doesn't quite get it done. Well defended, though. The defender stepped in between the keeper and the ball, but also between the ball and the man, more importantly. What a strike. That thing was bending. It's pretty stale air out here. A lot of space there. That thing was looking to go top shelf in the upper corner across in front of Mauricio Vargas. Vargas saw it and thought, uh-oh. And if the thing ducks in, he's just beat. And here again, you got Matt, Yasu, Anelli. Everybody looks back at Mal and says, hey, man, we're over here, right? So we need to know where the ball's going, but put it somewhere where we're around. Shadow Sabella's challenged for that, and he's got a 50-50 ball. It's going to go out for a throw-in. Or a corner kick. I'm sorry. Wow, they're calling that a goal kick. Shadow Shadow obviously steps in, creates a mistake off the back line San Antonio, and forces the keeper to have to come out and make a little deflection save, trying to push it by him. It should have been Wichita's 5th corner of the game. So Corinthians has really calmed down, start to possess a little bit, and then they want to play that long direct ball. And if Mal Vargas has to come off his line and make a save so the ball didn't trickle across the 6. Tenike was back with him, and if Tenike and Pollock are pulled out and that ball trickles across, then it's bad news back there. There's a miscommunication from Matt, Claire, and Luca and Nelly. Again, and Nelly's just not quite as game fit as he was at the beginning of the season. He's been recovering from an injury. Our first responsibility is to make sure that he's healthy. He's been seeing trainers and doctors, and got him a few minutes here and there, got him some time in training, and as he came back, we really need his ability up top, and you saw it help create the goal in the first half. Now Shadow's looking, telling Luca, let's go. Oh, Ole. Shadow megs a guy at midfield, lays it down to Luca. Luca's got to have a shot. Shoots. Goal! What build-up from Shadow Sabella. Luca Anelli with the goal in the 45th minute, folks. We're 2 minutes into stoppage time. In the 47th minute, 2 minutes into stoppage time. Shadow Sabella, absolutely. Johnny Freedom, I'm going to say it. Hey, somebody call San Antonio police. Somebody call the San Antonio police because somebody got mugged down there. Somebody got mugged right down there, John. Can you call somebody you know from the federal office or something? Shadow mugs a guy at midfield, pulls the next guy, slots in Luca, who takes a touch, collects himself, and knocks it in. What a dagger from Wichita in the 47th minute and stoppage time going in before half. Let's see if the guys can hold on and go into half with the 1-goal lead here in San Antonio. Claire sees Anelli again and lays a ball off to him. Anelli pulled away a little bit. He really didn't want the ball there, Matt, but he did pull away. Claire saw the run, and Claire's just thinking the same thing. Hey, get me into halftime with a 1-goal lead right now.
Exactly.
Oh, Jeff DeBlanc comes through and gets ball first, but absolutely mans up on Ben Conway. Conway, our backs are not soft. If we're getting ball first, you better be alert because defenders at this level, they mean it,
Oh, yeah.
So Conway, he that was more of a shot than the one that he embellished the fake elbow to the face earlier. So hopefully Ben Conway can be all right. It's moments like that where you whip your head back and bounce it off a turf or something, and you got these mild concussion symptoms. So he seems to be all right. He's just rubbing on his head. So a little bit of enthusiasm now on the Wichita bench. You got a handful of guys standing up. Andrew and Larry both standing up, talking, shouting. We all realize how important it is to get out of this half with a 1-goal lead right now. How about, oh goodness, can Shadow win that ball too? How about the creativity and the assisting of Shadow Sabella? Right now, Shadow Sabella is without a doubt the man of this match going into halftime. He's just been an absolute terror in the midfield against them. Well, welcome back, everybody. Ready to start the second half. FC Wichita, Corinthians from San Antonio. Matt and I are here calling the game. We've had about a 15-minute intermission. Now the guys collect themselves at midfield. No changes right now to the first 11. Doesn't look like there's any changes either way to each side. We'll continue to monitor that and make sure a lot of San Antonio players were on the pitch warming up, but I didn't see anybody take a bib off. Most of the players for them now. For Wichita, we did have everybody that's traveled other than Matt here, which Matt is not suiting tonight, but Matt is my guy next to me. But Chris Finner, David Lucio, Jack Cotter, Trey Hunyak, Alex Morgan, Mike Jackson, and Muhammad were down there warming up. Finner got a few touches. You saw Trey Hunyak had a pretty good warm-up. Jack Cotter and Alex Morgan were the few guys that seemed to be a little bit more dynamic with their warm-up than some of the others. But San Antonio has the ball, and we're into the 46th minute starting out. San Antonio goes sideways then backwards and looks to start this half with maybe collecting themselves a little bit more than how they ended that. And right when I say that, an errant ball forward collected by Leo Sosa and plays it forward to Matt Clare, who lays it down to Shadow. And if Shadow is able to get that ball in front of him and take a touch there, San Antonio is compromised less than 30 seconds into this half because Shadow has looked absolutely stellar. Oh, no. Got to step your line forward right now. Well defended after a mistake from Alex Pollock. Alex stepped up. Tenike, they both understood that they needed to step up and make sure that they drew the other San Antonio player offside. And for those of you at home, we're probably getting sick of me saying Bayona. Bayona was offsides again. FC Wichita, after Pollock made the mistake, stepped up far enough. But Leo Sosa came up a little bit lame on a deflection there. Sosa came in to help challenge and try to get a deflection on that shot, which they actually took the shot away, and then it was just a ball through. But Bayona couldn't play it anyway because he's offside. But Sosa's now flagged the official down and just finally was told by Shadow and Kevin Tenike just, hey, have a seat. So now at this point the officials came over and they're checking him out. Sosa, tough character, right? Strong kid. He wants to be out there for sure, but you never know going into a challenge like that. Sometimes you're just coming in to get a deflection. Somebody's coming in strong. They're a little bit stronger than you, and something that looks harmless can end up being devastating at times. So they definitely take caution.
He's a tough guy. I think he'll be all right.
So Wichita agrees that Corinthians goalkeeper, since Corinthians obviously allowed us to stop the game and didn't counter us with our midfield down a little bit and tending to an injured player, and Wichita lets them start over, which is etiquette for the game. You let the other team start the ball in their half, or if the referee drops it like a drop ball, you play it back to their back or their goalkeeper. So Matt steps forward and wins a ball, and Chisholm's found a little bit of space. He's cut back in front of Conway so that Conway either has to foul him or stop or take a different angle. Chisholm takes the space, lays it down to Shadow, then now back to Chisholm. Anelli with the great run right there. Anelli's run opened up space for Chisholm, who's tried his luck a few times as of recently from there. But I don't know that he shouldn't have played Anelli. Anelli had a little bit of energy there. He came in front of a guy. I kind of fancy maybe trying to play Anelli in there, leading him away from goal and playing him on his right foot, which he's preferred as of late. That's what he cut back to when he scored, and just giving him a chance. Wow, what a challenge from Leo Sosa, though. Sosa shows us that he's going to be all right. Like you said, he's a rock in there, and he steps forward and wins that header 2 feet over a guy. Very direct. Looks like San Antonio's offsides again, and thank you, AR. Thank you, AR, for getting that. I don't want to have to get on a Johnny Freedom rant about John's got an official in his home, and come on, referee. But, yeah, if you don't get that, that's bad news right there. Again, a lazy San Antonio player hanging out a little bit deep and then having to come back and try to play the ball. That time, Victor Pinal, again, was one of the two forwards when they drop into this 5-3-2 that they're wanting to play that stays up top with Esteban Bayona. And they both pretty much hang out offside. So they're going to come over here and get Jefty for a yellow card. And I didn't see who was issued the yellow card early in the match. There was, I believe there was 3 because there was kind of a I have to watch my language here. A half-hearted attempt at a yellow card from the official earlier on, but one obviously came early, and that was pretty evident. But the second one was like I didn't know if he was pulling a piece of paper out of his pocket or the card. And those of you that know me, I coach my kids' team sometimes, Matt, and I'm pretty animated over there. We're playing in a tournament called the Dallas Supercopa with my my younger boys' team, the U9 Wichita Wings, and referee at halftime. And, we're playing Orlando City Juniors, the MLS Academy team, strong group. That's going to be cleared out by Wichita for a corner kick. But a strong group, and the referee at halftime, tweet, 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 and I get 3 whistles. So I said, oh, the game's over. Well, I was already frustrated, and the game, we ended up losing with 2 minutes left in the second overtime. So it was a tight game, but there was frustrating moments. And so I've been known to err on Johnny Freedom's side of things at times. I can get a little bit sarcastic, and I got a red team, a black team, and then there's a blue team. So Anelli gets the target right here. Can Ayasu get around him? And oh wow, Luca Anelli unlucky to come away with that, but he's got to play the ball earlier to Yasu, and you really want to see Ayasu continue to try to get around Luca Anelli right there. Yasu has the pace. Luca's held up the play. Now Luca took a touch at Ayasu, but Yasu can't just stop and watch him. Yasu needs to use his pace and try to get around the edge right there, and maybe Luca can just flick a ball beyond him. If he does, there's nobody stopping Yasu Beckley from cutting directly in at the near post and having a go. But it just needs to be a little bit more off the ball for Yasu right there. When Luka took a touch at him, that's not what he wanted. But I think if he just would have let his athleticism take over there, you probably would have seen him have an opportunity to at least, hey, Luka, dump it here and let me try to run onto it. But anything's better right now than, Luka goes to the ground, Yasu's out of the play, and they're counterattacking us. So what do you see here, Matt? We're still sitting in the 4-1-4-1.
Looks like we're playing a little defensively. I would like to see us still keep attacking the net. It's a little early to park the bus yet, but hopefully we can keep working and retain some possession in the second half.
So San Antonio takes a throw in. Claire comes over to help out. Got to be careful there. Jeff D. Blanc's already on a yellow. He gets a lot of body, but unlucky. Jeff D. was put into a position where he had to come get a little bit of body. But Jeff D. comes out, and is it 14? Do we, folks at home, is that 14, Matt?
I believe so.
Do we potentially have a player on the pitch that we don't have a name or a number for on our roster card? Oh, no. 2 deflections. Again targeted, Esteban Bayona. Esteban Bayona gets a flick, hits a Wichita player, goes out of bounds. But we have a player on the roster for San Antonio that we do not have a name, but we do have a number for. So I apologize. We won't be able to tell you that. We'll just have to call it San Antonio 14 or he whom we don't speak of. Well defended by Jeff D. FC Wichita pushes their line forward, directed by Kevin Tenike and Alex Pollock. Tenike very, very assertive, looks over at Alex. Alex acknowledges with eye contact, pushes the rest of the side up, and Kevin shoves Leo and Matt forward in front of him and then along with Jeff D.
Kevin's an excellent leader in organizing the back line and just getting our whole team up.
So Kevin Tenike steps forward, wins the ball. A little bit of an error. Oh, no, Sosa almost gives it away, but Shadow again. And now Shadow looks to counterattack. Shadow's going to attack the last center back, lays it down to Sosa. Sosa drives one. Oh, he hits the crossbar. Leo Sosa. Oh, my. And the guy comes in to get a little bit of that challenge. Sosa gets touched with the cleats after the shot. And, again, the right ankle, which we've already had a little bit of problems with. And you got to wonder, did he have more of a problem earlier and it was just waiting to happen at this stage? But Sosa with an unbelievable shot from the top of the box. 28 yards out, has a go, keeper's beat, ball's ducking, nicks the top of the crossbar, and very, very fortunate for San Antonio to be up right now, or to be down only by 1 with FC Wichita with the 2-1 score line after hitting the crossbar. Now, again, the FC Wichita bench very concerned. Larry Inlow comes out. Wichita did not travel to trainer, but we have a trainer from San Antonio out there with them. Speaking of trainers, Dr. Kyson Frank, the soccer doctor, does great work for us, helping guys get healthy. That's one of the guys that, everybody sees when it's not only Matt, Shadow, both those guys went and saw him and got the kinesio tape, things like that they're able to help him perform. Eddie with Eddie doing his massages, but Mid-American Orthopedics and Chris Roy is our trainer. And Chris is there at training. He sends out his staff, and that's who would be out there right now. If you're in Wichita, you'd have Chris Roy out there and making sure that guys are okay. Then they'd come over. Chris would diagnose the situation and say, hey, here's what I'd like to see happen. We need this pressure. We don't need this pressure. And at that point, if there was some treatment that could be done that was beyond Chris, that's when Dr. Kyson Frank, the soccer doctor, Dr. Kyson would step in and see if he couldn't help adjust a guy or whatever it might be. Leo gets up, very lame, pretty gimpy, right? Just kind of limping off to the side here. There's obviously a little bit of movement on the FC Wichita sideline. Leo's position right now, we're obviously, Matt, you're holding mid. You're standing next to me. So he goes down. Here comes Lucio, and wrong decision. We're one guy away from needing holding mid on the bench, right? So look out. But Sosa, Lucio did warm up at halftime. He's prepared to go. He's been a rock in there, but Sosa's still lame. It looks like he's going to try to play. He's definitely hasn't broke anything or done anything that he can't put pressure on it, but he's still lame standing at midfield here, getting his marching orders from Larry, and Andy Millington's going to try to throw him back on the pitch right here and see what happens. What a lot of people don't know about Larry is Larry's actually EMT as well. So and now you do know that Larry's played professionally, he's coached professionally, he's played all through from 4 years old up. So he's seen plenty of injuries, knows what they are, deals with them every day, and he's able to go down there and help and identify. Obviously, our first concern is always that the player's safe and we're not making a guy play on something that he shouldn't be. So well defended from Wichita. Again, a switch from Corinthians. Corinthians actually brings the ball down on the backside, and then we make them start all the way over. Here's a dangerous moment if Tenike can find, and Tenike just dumps it in and gives it away. But, if you're going to make him start over, make him start all the way over. But if he could find feet right there, and I don't know if anybody was available, then maybe the counterattack's on. A little bit of frustration from Victor Pinal. He's flagged again. The referees see all they see is 11 and 21 right now. I wish I was counting offsides. I didn't keep that score line in the first half. I'm going to have to watch this again. If anybody at home is, please send a text to somebody that can get it to me or at FC Wichita or somebody that can tell me, because how many times have we said offsides and mention the name Bayona and Pinal? But these guys now starting to pick the ball up, throw it down a little bit of dissent, a little bit of frustration after the play. Would be a great time for Wichita if we could knock one more in to just go ahead and put this game out of reach. Crucial part of the game, 2-0, 2-1. Those are all dangerous score lines. Momentum, a mistake. You saw where somebody goes down, Pollock in the back, and a bad ball from Matt Clare across, picked off by Conway, and now Jeffty has to step forward, and Jeffty just gets absolutely leveled. Yellow, maybe red, arm up high. Jeffty takes what appeared to be an elbow to the mouth, but maybe a shoulder. But Jeffty comes in strong. That thing's late. That's every bit of what he's been flagged for. It has to be a yellow card. Now this is a yellow card, and they high five and they move on. It was a strong challenge, but it was a yellow. It was late and it was up high to a guy's head, which is always dangerous. That's a yellow card to the number 14 player that we don't speak of, guys.
As we near the 90th minute, I think we'll see the game get a little chippier as both teams know what's at stake here.
Right. Hopefully Wichita will be playing with more than a one-goal lead at that point. And if San Antonio is frustrated, maybe we can avoid that moment. But yeah, you're right. You're less than a half away of being the last time you meet all year, and everything's on the line right now. Again, for those just watching that don't realize what's at stake, FC Wichita is down by 4 points in the group standings to San Antonio, and he is onside. FC Wichita is back 25-21, but there's a game in hand, which means we've played one less game than San Antonio. So, potentially, if that game is a win, then that's a 3-point result. And you have to assume that when you're talking about games in hand, you're looking at those games like we're going to win that last game, the game in hand. So, you collect the 3 points, it makes it 24-25. And we hold a head-to-head tiebreaker against these guys because we beat them 4-0 last Friday in Wichita. Well, now with another 3 points, we tighten this thing up to 1 point right now, still have the game in hand, and two wins head-to-head over them. So, they also only have one more home game. They have to go on the road a little bit. They have the game Sunday, and I believe that's their last one. They have to go to Fort Worth and Dallas City, which aren't easy places to play. And both of them in a similar type situation. So huge next 30-35 minutes. Right now we're in the 60th minute. It's getting ready to roll over exactly 60 minutes, actually. So Wichita looks to step forward a little bit. San Antonio got everybody forward and is looking at a little drop back passes, then balls in behind. So Wichita's back line is regularly stepping forward and trying to make sure that we don't just let them run free behind us. laid back down, and San Antonio's looked to have an idea to keep it a little bit more and try to get service in from the wings instead of more direct. And we've seen them, Matt, we've seen them around midfield. We've seen them 40 yards out, and they're playing a little bit of a diagonal ball, but hips are into goal. Now you're seeing them dangerous. They're getting even with the 18, the in line. They're driving balls a little bit wider down the side, and they're saying, hey, we're going to put it in, and my guy's going to be better than your guy. So they're just looking to whip balls across, and now Corinthians with the corner kick. We got some substitutions here. Off for Wichita comes Luca Anelli. David Lucio, who we mentioned earlier. It looks like Lucio's prepared to come into this match. At this point, we don't know where he's coming in, but I would be willing to say striker comes off, Matt moves to forward, and Lucio sits into the holding mid next to Leo Sosa, and Coach Larry Enlow takes a formation change into a 4-2-3-1, which allows for 2 players to hold. So can Wichita get a clearance here? Yasu Bekele clears forward. Shadow might win that ball. Now they're in. Matt Clare receives it. He lays it down to Shadow. It's a 1v1. Shadow's in behind. Here comes Yasu Bekele. David Lucio, Matt Clare getting around the outside. Shadow keeps it. Plays in Matt. Oh, Matt Clare offsides. Good save by the keeper anyway. Robert Allen comes up with a decent save, but Matt pulled just a little bit offside. San Antonio takes a quick restart, immediately looks to target Esteban Bayona. Ball out of bounds. Alex Mosley collects it. What a quick counterattack that was from Wichita. And that's exactly what we talked about. Down goes Leo Sosa again. Sosa's going to be done for the day. They're trying to signal the referee. Hopefully Shadow sees it and puts it out for a throw. Of course, unless he scores right here, in which case, we don't want the throw. So, okay, Leo Sosa is down. It's the same ankle. This is the 3rd time he's been down. They have to sort it out. They have to figure it out. Larry wanted to keep him in because he wanted to sit into a 4-2-3-1, which we saw happen. It happened not just because Larry's trying to hold on to the game, but because he knew Sosa wasn't at 100%. For those of you that missed earlier, Matt standing next to me, we travel 20 players, but you can only suit 18. And Matt did not suit today, but Matt would right now be the next holding mid up. David Lucio steps into the match. Leo Sosa out. So if something happens to Sosa, or in the situation we are right now, Matt, where we've switched formation to a 4-2-3-1, we're in a 4-2-3-1 short of holding mid. So although I like you, and again, the Ray Liotta comments, you're a super hot guy and all that, dude, wow, man. Not a bad decision from Larry Enlow. You never know. But as luck would have it, bang, you're in the wrong box. You're supposed to be down there warming up right now. So Sosa gets helped off by Leo Leo gets helped off by Larry and Andy. Into the match now comes Trey Hunyak, and you have to wonder what Larry Enlow has up his sleeve right now. Unfortunately, Sosa's down. That's it. Whether he's able to rehab and play on Sunday, I don't know. But he's going to be done for the day. Trey Hunyak inserted into the match, and a position we haven't seen him play yet, the holding mid. It looks like Larry's put him directly in there and said, listen, I don't know if you get it, and I'm assuming he does. He comes from a great background with his soccer family. His dad, Goran Hunyak, a smart kid, good work ethic, but it maybe hasn't got a lot of minutes in there. He's an attacking mid, a winger, a forward. He does a lot of different things, and I could be wrong. Maybe Trey Hunyak has spent a lot of time in the holding position, but he's physical. Right now he has to sit in front of the defenders and kind of screen a little bit. Lucio's more comfortable in there, but Lucio, you can push forward a little bit more into the attack. We're right now without a physically strong, aggressive holding mid that understands that role.
Well, like what you said about Trey, he's a smart guy. Probably his background helps that a lot, and he knows the game, and I'm confident that he can fill that role well.
Yeah, he seems to be doing well, kind of staying between the sixes and sitting in. He's looking over his shoulder, and you see Kevin Tenike right there sorting him out. Without a doubt, Tenike's going to be helping him.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one in the midfield by Lucio. He finds Claire. Claire with a little bit of a bad first touch, but collects it, and now sees Chisholm Ogbon on a long run and tries to drop a ball in behind to Chisholm. Claire sticks his thumb up and says, hey, man, my bad. And if you're an FC Wichita fan or player, oh, come on. Jeffy and this guy going at each other, just about the same speed, about the same body type, absolutely shoulder to shoulder. Now it's different, shoulder to face, which is where the yellow card came out in the last challenge, and this one shoulder to shoulder. Then the player steps a foot and a half off the pitch is track, and then he takes a little bit of a slide after that as well. Hard challenge, but I don't know. If he doesn't go to the ground and fly over the track, it's not even a foul. I don't know that it was. It was a very, 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 very hard challenge, but unfortunately, instead of a throw-in, now Corinthians gets to push all the way forward. Here's Biona hanging out in the box with Alex Pollock, and he's just kind of walking around, but he's taking everything that our wall's going to give him. So he's standing right there, onsides this time in front of the goal, which is dangerous position. See if Wichita can defend this set piece. A little bit of chit-chatting going on over here. Looks like Lucio might have took a shot to the face, and now he's bleeding. Coach Enlow's going to come down and talk to David. David, oh, no, it's a necklace. David is a flashy kid. He doesn't got a lot to say, but he's got a little bit of swagger to him. So you got to hope that this doesn't affect us. Get the dang necklace off the guy and get him back into the match. He's got size. He's good in the air. Hey, just yank it off of him. We'll buy him a new latch tomorrow. So Lucio still getting his jewelry done with Larry and Andy down there on the pitch as Corinthians lines up again for another corner kick, and the referee says, oh, okay, good. Now, they're going to hold it for a substitution. Jeff DeBlanc tonight, he's busted his rear out there. He's been up and down. He's seen a lot of pace, but Jeff DeBlanc's came up lame a few times. And what's dangerous is he's also on a yellow card. So Jeffy's on a yellow card, and he continually gets into these challenges that are borderline yellow card challenges anyway. And what Wichita can't have right now is we can't be a man light. So if Jeffy was to take another yellow, he's out on Sunday. He's out for the rest of this match. So in comes Jack Cotter from New Zealand, and Mauricio Vargas steps up and makes a save. And he takes another quick restart. And what a clearance from Chisholm Ogbonna. What a clearance from Chisholm Ogbonna on a bicycle kick. But Matt clears way out wide to the side. And here comes Mauricio Vargas on another. It didn't need to happen. Mauricio Vargas reads the game so well. He reads the game. He's looking to distribute quick. He sees Matt in a 1v1 position, and he goes, I can get him that ball, which is great. But it's a one-goal game, and everybody's backed up. So a Corinthians player takes a yellow card, and I didn't get a number on him, but the Corinthians player steps in front and obstructs Mauricio. That's a yellow, sometimes a straight red if the boot's up. But it's if the referee doesn't see it or it looks like it goes off a guy's head or what if he drops it? I mean, Chisholm has to clear a ball with a bicycle kick that's in behind right there. So not something we need. We need to get our team forward and try to win the first and second ball. So more drama. Zoom in on this, MJ Productions. Can you get a look at this? After Chisholm Ogbonna, this is the same guy in the first half that took the swipe at the Wichita player. And now he's going to go down. He's the same guy that took a shot. Was it at Chisholm that he swung at in the first half also? I believe it was, Matt. Same guy. Chisholm goes in for a challenge, gets called for maybe a handball or whatever, but then he comes back and is going to stand over Chisholm, nudge Chisholm with his knee, and taunt him. So Chisholm now issued a yellow card on the challenge. It's quite a ways away. Maybe his boots were up. Hard to tell. Matt Clare, being the guy that he is, goes over, says, hey, man, let's get up and play. It wasn't that bad. The intent was there. The referees sorted it out. Let's go ahead and play. Helps the guy up, smacks him on the side of the head, and we're ready to go again. So 70th minute, 69 minutes, 25 seconds into the match. Wichita 2, San Antonio 1. So 22, which, again, Jonathan Camarena took the swipe early in the game that should have probably been a straight red, at the very, very, very least a yellow. And again, he comes back and does it, gets a yellow. This player, Matt, he shouldn't even be in the game right now. Those are both yellow card offenses. One's a red, the two smacks, and then the overhand right's a straight red. But after that, Jonathan Camarena, what he does is kneeing and leaning over Chisholm Ogbonna is things get heated. But if he's already on a yellow, he can't do that, and he can't play like that. So San Antonio's starting to get a little bit frustrated. again, we were talking about Jeff DeBlanc doing the same thing and having the card accumulation and not wanting to get into a position to where we ended up short. Yasu Beckley has ripped it off a guy. Matt Clare's getting around him. Oh, Yasu has got to play the ball to Clare. Clare with a fantastic overlapping run around Yasu. Yasu takes one extra touch and then tries to – oh, no. Mal Vargas, and what a play from Jack Cotter to keep it out for a throw-in. Mal Vargas comes out, makes a mistake, ball in behind him. He's lucky not to get the ball chipped over him, and Jack Cotter comes flying in to take what should be a corner kick and put it out for a throw, which is obviously a lot less dangerous at this stage or any stage in the game, but at this point where the momentum has switched a little bit for San Antonio. Ball in behind. Alex Pollock defended well. San Antonio player was on sides and timed his run a little bit late, was in behind Pollock waiting for a mistake, which is the only way that they've really got in, and is everything that they've played direct that's given them opportunities to bring balls down have been way wide, outside the 18, headed at the corner kick flag, which Wichita at this stage we seem a little bit content with saying, okay, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to play a 50-yard ball in behind us at the corner kick flag, but geez, it'd still be that's a dangerous ball there from Jack Cotter, but well played. Ten Eyck does probably the smart thing and goes, hey, I got 4 white jerseys around me. Let's start this thing over. So, again, Jeff DeBlanc out, not necessarily with an injury, more than likely. We'll have to talk to Larry Enlow post-game and get his thoughts on this, but more than likely, Jeff D has been involved in some questionable challenges after the initial yellow, and we don't need to play a man light. So Jack Cotter in. You've seen quite a bit of action from him already. He's number 2. He's from New Zealand, plays at Fringe University as well. He stepped in and got some considerable minutes now that Craig Mooney and Osmond Mendez, who both were outside backs, have left the team. Osmond had a family issue as well as Craig. So Craig played most of the season. Osmond only played the one game against Joplin, but does open up space for somebody at the wingback. Here he is here. I'd like to say Zusi plays Cotter. It's Hunyak. He sure looks a lot like Graham Zusi from up here, doesn't he?
He does. What makes us a great team is Larry is able to pull guys from the bench, and we're so versatile. We can fill almost every position, and that's what helps us to.
Very fortunate for Wichita there that went wide. I'm watching the replay now. The live stream is about 30 seconds behind what you're watching at home. We're calling the game, and there's a 30-second delay in the stream. So I'm going to call this here in a second. We're down to about half that time. I want to see if Bayona is offsides. And, man, I'll tell you what, looking back at the replay, I'd have to actually see it again. But he appeared again to be offsides. Now, Yasu Bekele getting into it right now with somebody from the Corinthians at midfield. Matt Clare's coming over and talking to the official saying, hey, a guy tried to headbutt me later. And I think Matt's standing up for Yasu saying, hey, guy threw a headbutt at me. And Matt's going over telling the official, this thing's going to get out of hand if you don't stop it. Matt, you've said that. Clare's going to recognize that. And as a player, you don't want guys coming out talking about headhunting each other or I'm going to take your knee or any of that. And it does happen on a pitch. Here's Matt Clare right now engaged in a little bit of action. And he's okay, so Claire very attentive listening to the official. He's got to appreciate that the official's telling the guy, hey, I didn't see it, but if you threw a headbutt, then that's it. You're done. You're gone. So that's number 23, who is also the player that we won't speak of, that does not have a name on this roster card that I'm holding. We have the 7 substitutes identified on this roster for them, and nowhere on that is number 14 or number 23. Now, 14 has been in some questionable stuff with Jeff DeBlanc, went high to his face. Oh. We're keeping an eye down here. Wichita gets a shot off, and it goes out wide for a corner kick. But keeping an eye down there again on Chisholm Ogbonna and Jonathan Camarena, because Jonathan Camarena, and I don't mean football, like a football tackle. I mean a football tackle. The guy looked like Derek Johnson from the Kansas Chisholm had won a bit of a 50-50 challenge and was ready to play the ball and had his body between Camarena and the ball itself. And Camarena goes to the ground and literally pulls Chisholm down by the waist. Oh, unlucky there. Trey Hunyak with a little left-footed volley on the back post. No power on it, just a little finesse. Just tried to shape it in, but he got a lot of it, and the keeper well-positioned to make sure that he could make that stop there. Looking down at Sosa on the bench to give anybody an update that's worried about Leo. Leo's got his foot elevated. He's not hunched over in pain. He seems to be okay. He's into the game. And now what a ball from Yasu Bekele to Chisholm Ogbonna. Switches it. Chisholm still has it. See if he can play Shadow. He plays Shadow. Shadow pulls the outside back wide. Shadow looks to slot it back again to Chisholm. Matt Clare has made some phenomenal runs on the other side and is not getting seen. He's not getting identified. But here he is again. He's just, hey, please somebody play me a ball. Clare there, maybe a little bit of embellishment from Matt there. Drew some contact at the top of the box and went down. Matt has it now at the top of the box. Little fake, lays the ball down. Here comes Mosley. Mosley pushes it to his left, has a shot. Oh, just a little wide over the top of the bar there. Mosley tried to shape it instead of striking it maybe with a little bit of pace. We saw that from him a week or so back against, I believe it was Tulsa, where he got the ball off Matt, and takes a touch across his body at the top of the box and going to his right foot in that game instead of his left, I believe, and has a pretty good shot that obviously scored and changed that game early on. So substitution for San Antonio, which has to be warranted because you have to get Jonathan Camarena off the pitch. He's a liability. He's tackling players. He's punched a guy. He's literally he's kneed a guy in the back of the head when he's on the pitch. Already the player's down, already been cautioned. He does that behind the play. He's involved in everything behind the play, and through all of that, he still gets an actual football tackle. Chisholm Ogbonna saves that for a throw-in instead of putting it out for a corner kick. And Corinthians, again, pushing a lot of guys forward. You see Matt Clare sitting up high. This is where Matt's been dangerous. Points like this in the game all season. Matt Clare has been an absolute assassin. And hopefully Mauricio Vargas, there he goes. Kevin Tinike turned around and kind of frowned and gave him the don't do it, Mal, right? So they're asking for time wasting, but they're also standing directly in front of our goalkeeper, which, again, with your hands in the air, blocking a keeper is a yellow card. So Wichita needs to be careful right here about getting too forward. He's got to be offsides. Again, offsides. And what a save. Megs Vargas. Vargas slots his right foot across and makes a heel flick save. Wow. Mauricio Vargas gets huge. Cheeky little Meg attempt from Bayona, and Bayona, man, he probably should have made his pay. In order to win games like this, of this caliber, your goalkeeper, and I say it with my son at 12 years old, I say it here, your goalkeeper is going to have to make some saves, and when you get them, you better rally around that and help defend, because a team of this caliber at this level will continue to push and they will create chances, but your keeper's got to make 2 or 3 big saves in a game to win a match like this. Mal Vargas right there comes up with one. There's that long ball in behind to Matt Clare. If that thing is mishandled, Clare probably brings it down. We've seen Clare late in games move forward all season into the striker position. If Shadow or Ayasu or Yasu Shadow, maybe even Chisholm get tired, Matt will identify that and kind of switch him. But we've seen him get forward and just absolutely wreak havoc on the defenders, making mistakes back there, look to beat him with pace, and he's an assassin as a goal scorer. So right now he's standing even with the center back. He's taking a little rest, but this is where Matt kind of rocks you to sleep, and you look at a guy and you say, hey, take over the game. Take the game right now. And so hopefully Matt gets the opportunity to do that again for his team today. As we say that, Hunyak steps forward, wins a ball, plays Shadow. Shadow was looking for Hunyak to make a little bit better run and maybe a little bit more diagonal run across him than he did, and Hunyak's run was flat. Shadow gives the ball away and has to win it back. So we're now into the 80th minute, exactly 80 minutes in. and into the 81st minute. So 80 minutes has been played. We're 10 minutes and a little bit of stoppage time. We have had some yellow cards. We've had some injuries, so expect 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage potentially at the end of this thing. And Corinthians really pushing forward, keeping FC Wichita pinned into the back. And something, I don't know if Jack Cotter's injured or if Larry doesn't like his positioning or what, but Cotter's came in and gave Wichita some pretty good minutes. But now Cotter makes way for Wichita native Alex Mosley. I'm sorry, not Alex Mosley, Alex Morgan. We have 3 Alexes, Pollock, Mosley, and Morgan. Oh, man, Matt took that ball. He wasn't paying attention. It hit him right in the dang eye, and those are always dangerous moments. Even if it's not a concussion type moment because he wasn't ready for it, you don't want to see his eye get split or something like that right now. So Matt, the only good thing was it wasn't a shot. It was a volley and misdirection, but it definitely caught him off guard. Matt's a tough enough guy. He's played through some pretty severe stuff, bleeding, this, that. He's going to play through this. He'll come over, get a drink. He's probably not going to say, hey, it's this guy's fault. But just a mishap. Guy misplayed a ball. They're playing a little bit scared. They don't want anything behind them. They know what Matt is. They've seen it, and that guy can't let the ball go by. Matt's waiting for that, and a little volley misdirection hits him in the eye. But back to Alex Morgan. Don't confuse this Alex Morgan with Alex Morgan from the U.S. women's team. Although, if Alex Morgan from the U.S. women's national team wants to figure out a way as soon as she's done beating China to come over here in San Antonio and help us out, I'm more than willing to figure out a way to get her on the pitch. But so Alex Morgan in. You now have let's go through the Wichita lineup because we've had a few changes right now. We've had a formation change. You have Alex Morgan, Wichita, Kansas native at left back. You got Kevin Tenike at left center back, also Wichita, Kansas native. You have Alex Pollock at right center back, and you have Wichita, Kansas native Alex Mosley at right back. So we have 3 Alexes in our backline defending right now with Kevin Tenike mixed in there somewhere. Trey Hunyak has been put into a holding midfield position next to David Lucio. Trey from Kansas City, Missouri, son of Goran Hunyak, Wichita Wings legend. David Lucio out of Wichita Northwest and Fort Hays State University holding next to him. Yasu Bekele, Ethiopian. Oh, come on, he's offsides, referee. And now not only just offsides and the push-in's been there, but now Victor Pinal, not only is he still holding the ball, I talked about it 20 minutes ago, he's delaying his own game. Go ahead and have the descent and carry the ball, and please, you're on our payroll almost, right? You can be an office staff for that. But so he's now resorted to, I'm not even going to try to get back on sides. I'm going to two-hand shove a guy in the back. Pick it. Oh, wow, Matt Clare draws a foul at the top of the box. Is it a foul on Pinnell, or is it descent, or is it offsides? Well, then we come down. Matt Clare goes up for one, gets under a guy. I don't know. From my view, I maybe let that thing go as a no call. But Clare, he did get under Clare, and it's not like he really ducked. And Clay, he almost actually made it. It could have been a lot worse than it was, Matt. And anyway, Matt Clare earns a free kick. That's exactly, these football hashes are good for something. 22 yards off a goal right now. So the blue line is the 18. We got 4 yards right on a hash. And guess what, Wichita fans? We're in the 84th minute, 83 minutes, 57 seconds. Getting ready to be in the 85th minute. Right now we are when this free kick's taken. And you have Shadow Sabella and Matt Clare over the ball. Oh, wow, Shadow, the keeper, they both, one looked at it from a right foot, one looked at it from a left foot. Matt, the keeper didn't know which way to go. The keeper built his wall on the right, which is near post, which you have to, and he takes the left side, and Shadow says, okay, I fancy ducking a ball over you. If he does it the other way, then Matt Clare has a go. Either way, we're shooting right there, and Shadow Sabella wants that one back because he had that corner picked out. He had a little bit of duck on it. He probably had the right pace to beat the keeper. He just mishit it.
Matt and Shadow practice those free kicks nearly every day after practice, and they're extremely dangerous.
Give us some insight on that. These guys stay after practice to shoot a little bit? So after everybody's done training, a handful of guys will stay and want to shoot?
Absolutely. We have an incredible mentality all throughout our team, and it starts up top with our veterans and our leaders. And when practice is done, it's not really done. I mean, we got guys every day staying after practice with a bag of balls, putting in their work, whether it's shooting or passing or whatever they really need to do.
Unlucky there from Kevin Tenike as he wins the ball, fights, good hard fight, wins the ball, pushes it wide, gets his head up, nobody's there, and touch was a little bit long for him and rolled out of bounds. Again, you see the Wichita line pushing forward and trying to pull off anybody in San Antonio that looks like they don't want to run. It's humid out here, and after being on the bus, the guys came up yesterday, so they've had some time in a hotel, traveled in style on a big Village Tours charter bus, but so it was comfortable, but it's still a good hike. It had some construction, so it ends up 11 hours turns into 12 hours, and we had some construction on the way here, so what was supposed to be 10 minutes from the stadium ended up being more than that. So we arrived at the stadium 20 minutes later than usual, 15, 20 minutes later, and so there's been a little bit of issues like that. But honestly, at the end of this thing, we look like we're the ones. Wichita right now appears to be the team that might have a little bit more left in them. It looked like they're starting to win everything in the middle. Now it's not just, hey, win the ball and go forward. Now Matt Clare's been put in right now from David Lucio. Clare opts out, and you have to protect yourself there because the keeper's coming out looking to punch it. And if you want a challenge for that, it's knee up, punching, and it's justified. So Matt Clare probably makes the right decision. That ball was a little bit more in favor of the goalkeeper. But Lucio, nice little idea. Play him over the top, stretch their team. Wichita now still 2-1. 2-1 in the 87th minute. 86 minutes, 35 seconds into the match. Corinthians has it deep, tries to play it off of Alex Morgan. Morgan does well. Yasu Bekele drops in to help defend, pin the guy deep in the coffin corner there. Usually you see something like that, like a moment like that, when you're the team that's up 2-1 in the 90th minute. But in this case, he's trying to earn a corner kick, and you can kind of see there is the player that we don't speak of, number 14, who it seems like he's in the play more often than we don't speak of it, is it just – a little bit of a disappointing effort just trying to play it off a guy for a corner instead of maybe put your foot on the ball, take a guy on, try to create something, drive a ball across, make the defender adjust to you, shift the guy, right? You got to commit somebody. You can't just turn and shield there. So if they want to do that, we'd be more than fine with that at this point. Again, trying to find Clare to stretch the team a little bit. San Antonio does well to head it to the keeper. Keeper snags it with his hands and looks to drive a ball up the middle. Just randomly into a crowd of FC Wichita and San Antonio players. Shadows won the second ball. He's got forward. Yasu Bekele with brilliant speed. He plays Matt Clare on the wing. It's a 2v1 if he can switch it. Oh, what a ball from Clare. Chisholm Ogbonna just couldn't get around it. What a ball from Clare. If Chisholm maybe decides, we've seen him a million times in training, warm-ups, just lay out with the diving header. If Chisholm maybe can get his head on that and direct it a little bit more, it's easier to control. But you saw Chisholm try to get over the top of the ball with his right foot, which is his outside foot right there, Matt, and it's a very difficult technique to do it. Julio Cesar did it a few years back for Sporting Kansas City in a match, and it's when it happens and it goes in, it's, oh my goodness, it's world-class, it's unbelievable. But the chance of hitting that, you want to square your hips up a little bit and take it off your inside foot, your left, so you can shape it. Or even in that situation, I think Chisholm maybe would have served himself a little better just trying to lay out for a header and put it on frame. But what a great build-up from Wichita and a good service cross from Matt Clare. Now as Corinthians dumps another long ball over the top of the back line in behind Alex Morgan and between Tenike and Morgan, although the Corinthians player was going to run on and maybe get that if he has another 5 yards or so, they both have it covered well with pressure and support, and there's absolutely nobody at the right back or outside player looking to get forward for Corinthians, who right now is a very dangerous time for them. They're pushing forward to try to win the match. We're in the 90th minute, 89 minutes and 10 seconds in. Wichita is just a few minutes away from holding on and stealing 3 points here in San Antonio, and Corinthians is now defending with 2 at times and 3. So we have 2 in the back. We have 3 in the back, and the center back is pushing forward for Corinthians. Zach Trow. So they're defending with 3, and this is what's going to happen. There goes Yasu Bekele. He's in behind. Can he play in Matt Clare? Oh, Yasu Bekele takes it on his own. Oh, Yasu. Matt Clare is absolutely up in arms. Yasu Bekele, with his technical ability and his pace, created that opportunity, and Clare made a great run wide, and he's just living right now. He's not happy at all with Yasu. Yasu has to get back and help his team defend right here. There's some guys that go, hey, they're stretched. The commentator, I guess I can call myself a commentator for today. We're saying that they've pushed everybody forward but 2 and 3 guys, and they're one guy away from making that mistake. They're basically defending with 2 and pushing their center back in a holding position forward, and they're playing. It's got to be 3. It almost looks like it's turned into a 3-5-2. And it has. And when Yasu took it off that center back that is stepping forward into a holding position, there was only 2 guys to beat and 3 runners. Yasu beat 2 of the 3, and all he had to do was commit, which he did, that last defender, and lay a ball down to Matt. And here he goes again. Yasu with his pace is finding spaces in behind. And this is where it gets dangerous for Wichita. You don't want to concede late in this game. Well played by Alex Morgan. Now let's collect. Come on, Matt Clare. Come on, Chisholm Ogbonna, Shadow, Lucio, Yasu. Guys that are playing a little bit high right now. Get your shape. Sit in. Get goal side of a guy. Let's screen. Let's clog some angles and make them play that ball over the top that we just saw right there again. And they've been content with playing it, but nothing has came from it. And now Mosley pushes forward. Pressured by Esteban Bayona, and Mosley just dumps it deep. Claire steps back to pressure just so the keeper can't play the short ball to the center back. Keeper decides anyway to go ahead and throw it to Esteban Bayona, who now has dropped all the way back off into the back just to help them collect and get a ball forward because they're not able to do it. A little bit of play from Yasu and David Lucio. Wichita, we're into the 92nd minute now. The referee, we did not see a signal. We don't know how many minutes of stoppage time there is, but we're now 92nd minute plus. Chisholm comes back and collects. Matt Clare makes a run across, and Chisholm Ogbonna taken down pretty hard at midfield. And you better believe that Wichita is going to be content with turning this into a 45-second restart right here. San Antonio's yelling. They're going to want to speed this up. You see Esteban Bayona right in front of the free kick. He's starting to bend down and stretch. Everybody in the mid. Here goes a player for Wichita has sat down, and I'm having trouble seeing who it is. Of course, they're going to think that we're just out there killing time, but depending on who it is, there could be some considerable minutes played there. It's Chisholm Ogbonna, and Chisholm has been in 4 or 5 scrums. He's made run after run up and down the wing. Not to pick on Yasu, but when Matt's been making the run, Chisholm or Shadow have also been making that run. So those guys in the midfield, we're not getting the chances we need in on goal, but we're creating the number of opportunities to get the look, and they're just a little bit gassed right now. And it's not just Wichita. It's 97 degrees out here. The temperatures came down to where it's just about 90 degrees now, but they've had a ton of rain in South Texas for the last month or so, and it's awfully humid here. So Ogbonna is going to come off, and it appears that we may get number 8, Mike Jackson, in the match for Wichita. And at this point, Larry Enlow, if he can get Jackson into the match, would be content with just letting Jackson sit in and become like a fifth defender for us. That's what Jackson does. He plays alongside Alex Pollock in the center back. So even if we could just put him in there in a holding position and say, hey, let's win a ball up there. Yasu Bekele, actually Chisholm Ogbonna has came back into the match. Yasu Bekele, really with Wichita playing down a man right there, does well to come over and break that up a little bit. And got a mention from Ten Eyck, too. Ten Eyck wins the header. Instead of just putting it out for a corner, he puts it out for a throw. San Antonio sets up in the corner. They've got a number situation. He can't lay in Bayona because Bayona is offsides. Again, offsides. We can call it from the booth. You can watch the video, but Bayona didn't put out the effort to get back on side, so they couldn't play him in. Here comes Mal Vargas to collect and hopefully calm his team down, let his team get their shape back. Matt, you know, as a defender right here, or even you're a midfielder, but as a holding mid, you want your keeper right now to push everybody up and tell us calm down. Let's let everybody make eye contact, sort it out, and get our shape back, right?
Absolutely. This has been a long extra time, but we're holding on, and let's close out the game.
So Mike Jackson is up. Matt Clare is going to get flagged for an offside right there, and Matt was offsides. Mike Jackson is up and looking to sub into this match in the 93rd minute right now. I'm sorry, the 94th minute. We're 4 minutes into stoppage time. Mike Jackson, it looks like he's coming in, and he's going to come in for Yasu Bekele. Yasu's taking his sweet time coming off the pitch here. Mike Jackson's going to come in and be at a dead sprint. Mike is a big athletic kid. He's a defender by trade with what he does before he came in here, and he's a great addition late into this match to come in and try to help Wichita preserve the lead. Tenike up, wins the header. San Antonio pushes it down the edge, looks to get late service in. Bayona gets a piece of that and tries to embellish it, but I want to say Kevin Tenike comes in. And Tenike has done so much back there harassing this guy all night. The guy's a great goal scorer. He just hangs out in front of goal, and they pretty much play directly at him. But, hey, if this guy's played in the NASL and he's played in Nova Scotia and this and that, I show you the Kevin Tenike card, and I say, whoa, Kevin Tenike's every bit of that. Little stop turn from David Lucio. He's trying to keep it. Maybe would have been better served to just keep it back in the corner instead of letting them counter us. But now you see Hunyak, Jackson, Mosley, Pollock, Tenike, Morgan all back trying to defend. And Shadow, with what he's got left, Shadow Sabella is tracking back into the mid. Here comes Lucio, and the whole team's going to sit back and defend with 11. Now 5 minutes into stoppage time. Tug down. Alex Pollock in a great defensive position, turns to play the ball, and he's tugged down, and it's got to be near. We got to be near here, Matt, right? So FC Wichita with the restart in the box, now in the 96th minute, and that's it. FC Wichita comes away with 3 points in San Antonio. Air Capital Firm, have a drink. Now can we zoom in here, MJ Productions, on the referees? San Antonio, Bayona just took a yellow card for dissent. Now number 23. Geez, I'm gonna name off guys that aren't even on the roster. Can there be any more guys that are on the pitch right now that aren't on this sheet, Matt? All right, so now we've kind of calmed things down a little bit. There was just a lot at stake. Bayona goes over after the game and takes a yellow card for dissent against the official. Obviously a little frustrated. Tenike, Pollock, Mosley, Jeff DeBlanc, Alex Morgan, Jack Cotter, Leo Sosa, David Lucio. How about Trey Hunyak coming in late in that game and holding the guys? The game, there was so much pressure in the last 20 minutes of this game all over them, and they stayed in strong. Vargas, they did their job, and they come away with 3 points. What a result.